the Honor 99, aka the Maimang 6, aka the Mate 10 Lite, aka the Nova 2i. What? Don't blame me, that's how it's been announced in different regions, albeit with minute changes. But what matters to us, the end consumers, is how it fares when put to the test, right? Let's find that out in today's video. Hey guys, Sundar here from C4eTech, and before we start, we put in a ton of effort to make sure we bring you the best quality content possible. So if you do end up liking what you see, please hit thumbs up, subscribe, and that bell icon. With that out of the way, let's get started. Let's begin with the build and design. This phone reminds me of the Honor 8 Pro that we recently covered here on C4eTech. The placements are almost identical, with just two exceptions. The Honor 99 doesn't have an infrared sensor that the 8 Pro does, and then there's a micro USB port instead of Type-C. Not just the sides, even the back of the phone reminds me of the 8 Pro. The same texture, finish, and color. It does pick up its fair share of smudges, and the worst part is they just stick to the back. Trying to wipe them off is futile. Huawei's included a case in the box to avoid them though. Moving on to the not so obvious differences, the 99 is ever so slightly narrower and shorter than the 8 Pro. It's still not single-handed usage friendly to be honest, but given that it's also much lighter by 20 grams to be precise, it's a bit easier to use. That's also thanks to the curved sides which help with the grip. The premium in-hand feel isn't compromised either, given the metal unibody build. Where the night and day difference between the 99 and the 8 Pro kicks in is here, to the front. Despite sporting a slightly smaller overall footprint, the 99 sports a larger 5.9-inch display. This is thanks in large to the 18:9 or 2:1 aspect ratio and the shrunk bezels. It's worth mentioning that we've got 2.5D glass covering this display. Since the aspect ratio is 2:1, the resolution here is 2160 by 1080, meaning a very respectable 409 ppi pixel density, so it's sharp enough for pretty much everything outside of VR. The colors are good, the display gets quite bright, but it does struggle a bit outdoors due to the glass on top being a little too reflective. That said, the viewing angles are excellent. Now, the little things that matter. The notification LED is present and works the way it's expected to. Same goes with the earpiece, the audio was crisp and clear. So was the audio via the loudspeaker. It was quite loud as well. I'd rate it above average. The 3.5mm headphone jack does exist and the output was decent. I had no issues with cellular reception and call quality either. What disappointed me is the fact that Huawei pulled off a Samsung by omitting the gyroscope. That was not expected from Huawei, at least not on an 18K phone. The rear-mounted fingerprint scanner works fine. It's accurate and rapid-fast, just like on most other Huawei phones. Underneath the hood, the Honor 99 sports high-silicon's Kirin 659 chip, about a 10% boost over the Kirin 655 chip found on the Honor 6X, and manufactured on the same 16nm FinFET process. Given that the 6X delivered with regards to performance, I obviously had high expectations from the 99, but I had a mixed experience. Yes, it's undoubtedly fast, apps open up quick, the transitions are fast, it would probably defeat any phone in this segment in a speed test. The Mali T830 MP2 GPU also performs really well. It managed to run heavy games like Asphalt Extreme with relative ease. Where I faced issues is with the user interface. This phone runs on EMUI 5.1 on top of Android 7 Nougat. Now, EMUI has been great in recent times in my experience, be it on the Honor 8 Pro or the Honor 6X, but on this phone, it feels unoptimized. Stutters and glitches are a common sight, and at times some weird things happen, forcing me to force reboot the phone. On the features front, EMUI has a lot going for it. We have App Twin, which creates an additional copy of an app, so you can do things like have 2 WhatsApp accounts or 2 Snapchat accounts. There's App Lock, you can unlock individual apps with a pin or your fingerprint. Nougat's own regulars like quick switch and split screen multitasking are also present and accounted for. The skin does come with some load out of the box, but most of it is uninstallable. There's no app drawer here, but as we've seen in the past, we can enable it in the settings menu. Given that the display has an 18:9 aspect ratio, on most apps and games there's a huge black bar at the bottom by default. Tap Fit and it restarts the app, making use of the entire screen real estate. I was quite happy with all these features, but on the whole, the user experience was a mixed bag. Hopefully if the niggles are fixed with future updates, I'd be a lot happier with this phone. Now moving on, there's 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. The RAM management was good, the 99 kept a lot of apps open in the background. The 3340 mAh battery held up really well. With light usage, I ended the day with about 35% juice left. Even with moderate to heavy usage, the Honor 99 didn't run out of juice before the end of the day. End of the day here means 11 or 12 in the night. and moderate to heavy usage means either Wi-Fi or 4G being on 24/7, playing games from time to time, streaming videos, streaming audio via Bluetooth, and using the cameras from time to time. And trust me, I played around a lot with the camera. Speaking of which, the Honor 9i is one of the very few phones to sport 4 cameras. There's a 16 megapixel primary camera to the back and a 13 megapixel unit to the front. There's a 2 megapixel depth sensor accompanying each of them, with the help of which you can get portrait mode shots like these. The portrait selfies turned out good. Definitely deserves some credit. Those shot with the rear camera are fine too. Not as good as those shot on the Mi A1, but that's like best in segment for portrait mode pictures. The 9i is reasonably good at it. Moving on to regular shots, outdoors under good lighting conditions, the 9i shoots images that are really sharp. There's a ton of detail. Zooming in, you could read the smallest of texts here. The colors are oversaturated though. A bit of oversaturation is fine with most images, but at times, like with this image, it doesn't look nearly as good as it actually does in person. The reds are blown out and oversaturated. The dynamic range is okay, but there's a dedicated mode for HDR which helps. Given the relatively narrow f2.2 aperture, the depth of field isn't very shallow. But like we saw, you can enable the wide aperture mode for more bokeh. Under artificial lighting, the Honor 9i performed almost equally well. Super sharp pictures with a lot of detail and vivid colors. Under low light, the camera falters to an extent. The increased pixel count and the relatively narrow f2.2 aperture are to blame here. The color reproduction is still fine, but there's quite a bit of noise creeping in. Another disappointment is the lack of option to shoot 4K video. Most phones in this segment allow you to do that, but unfortunately, the 9i doesn't. That said, the quality of the 1080p footage itself is great. It's bright and sharp with ample detail, the colors are reasonably good. Earlier we saw some portrait mode selfies, now here are some regular ones. They turned out excellent, super sharp with plenty detail and great colors. The dynamic range isn't up to the mark though. Now remember when I said I played around a lot with the camera? Now you have an idea. These were shot using the Pro mode, which lets you manually control everything from ISO, shutter speed to white balance and focus. The Honor 9i is priced at 17,999 rupees in India, while the almost equivalent version of it, the Maimang 6, is about 6,000 rupees more expensive in China. As tempting as it sounds, there are a few things you need to look at before considering the purchase. First, the cons. There's no option for 4K video, no gyroscope, and the interface seems unoptimized. While the first two are things you might be able to live with, the third seems to be a deal breaker. Imagine having to force reboot the phone when you're doing something important. You get it? Unless Huawei fixes this, there are cheaper options out there that you could consider. But if Huawei does fix the optimization issues, then there's a lot to like about the 9i. A great build, a humongous display with an awesome screen-to-body ratio, an excellent selfie camera, manual mode for the rear camera, a powerful chip inside with good battery life. So that's it for my 2 cents on the Honor 9i. Do you agree with what I've had to say about it? Let me know in the comments below. Hit thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe to C4E Tech for more like this. Do this to make sure you get notified each time a video goes live on the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Sundar from C4E Tech, leaving for the moment. Have a great day.